All right, so after your name is on the back of your paper, the first thing that you need to do is fold it hot dog style and then hamburger style, so you are left with 4 squares. In those 4 squares, you're going to go ahead and draw your subject. I'm going to do a donut, but you could do ice cream, a hot dog, pizza, a hamburger, whatever you want to do. You can also decide if your paper is going to be landscape like mine is, so side to side, or portrait up and down. Then you are just going to do, like I said, a simple drawing. You're going to try to do this 4 times, just as like close to the first one as you can. So nothing's going to be perfect. My donuts are a little bit differently sized. My first one's a little smaller, but just try to make your drawing as similar to the first one as you can. And then you're going to kind of just choose your medium that you will be coloring your pop art in. So I'm going to do markers, but you also could do watercolor, you could do colored pencil, it's up to you. You could also use tempera cakes, but we're going to choose maybe like 5 or 6 colors as your color scheme. So totally up to you what those are, but you're going to stick to the same ones. So I am starting to color mine. It's up to you if you would like to have one of your squares be kind of like the normal colors of like say you're drawing a pizza. If you want to use like the regular colors you would use to draw a pizza, you can, but then the other ones should be kind of wacky, kind of bright and colorful, just like the pop art style movement art. And we are going to fill in the background of everything as well. So if that changes your mind on what, coloring material you would like to use, if you think paint would be easier because there's so much space we need to fill in, that's totally up to you. Like I said, I'm going to do markers, so I'm going to have my yellow. I think I'm going to use some like reds and pinks, and then maybe like a teal or green. And then all of my donuts are going to be differently colored, but using those same colors. So I think this one is going to be my normal colored one. So I'm coloring the cake part of the donut in like with a tan. I'm not sure if I'm going to use this in my kind of color scheme that I've chosen, but I don't necessarily have to. So like I said, if you want to draw a pizza and you have red pepperoni, that doesn't mean you need to use red on the other squares, because you could have one that looks like the normal colors, and then everything else, like I said, can be really bright and colorful. But try to stick to, like I said, maybe 4, 5, or 6 colors that continue throughout all of your squares, because that's kind of how famous artists like Andy Warhol did. They chose their color schemes and then stuck with that, so that even when they're subject matter, so in this case my donuts are colored in crazy colors, it still goes together because I've used those same colors. So kind of like I said, try to make sure all of your drawings are similar. So even down to my little donut sprinkles, it's not perfect, but I tried to make sure I placed them in like a similar spot on each square. Our last thing is going to be choosing a dark colored piece of soft pastel, so chalk pastel. I would recommend either gray or black, and we're going to just add a little bit of a shadow at the base of whatever your drawing is. So the shape of your shadow, if you don't do a donut, will be a little bit different, but basically you're just going to draw a little line of chalk right along the bottom of your item, and then using your finger, you are going to just kind of blend it out in the direction of down and maybe toward the corners as well. If you're noticing that your chalk is not really blending, just add a little bit more and then blend again. And then once your shadow is added, you are all done.